It was a chilly Monday morning in a quiet New Jersey suburb. The streets were wet with last night's rain, and the breath of every passerby curled into the gray morning air. Caleb Brooks, a single dad in his mid-30s, had just dropped off his 6-year-old son, Mason, at school. Life hadn't been easy since his wife passed away 2 years ago, but he was doing his best, juggling 2 jobs, parenting, and somehow still managing to show up every morning with a packed lunch and a hopeful smile. As he pulled out of the school parking lot in his aging SUV, something caught his eye. 2 little girls, identical twins, maybe 6 or 7, stood frozen near the bus stop across the street. Their pink jackets were soaked at the sleeves, their shoes muddy, and their tiny fingers clutched each other tightly. They weren't talking, just pointing at the school bus pulling away. And shaking, Caleb instinctively pulled over and rolled down the window. "You okay, girls?" he called gently. One of them, eyes wide with fear, barely whispered, "We don't want to go, please." Caleb got out, crouched beside them, and noticed something wasn't right. Their bags were torn, their lunchboxes were empty, but most unsettling of a lone girl had a fading bruise near her collarbone. His gut tightened. "Where's your mom or dad?" he asked softly. The other twin looked at the sidewalk. "Mom's sleeping. She doesn't wake up until later. Daddy doesn't live with us anymore." It hit Caleb like a punch to the chest. They weren't scared of school. They were scared of the bus. He paused. "Do you want me to call someone? A teacher? Or?" "No, please, don't tell," one of them said, panicked. "They'll take us away." Caleb hesitated, but the fear in their eyes was too real to ignore. "Okay," he said, standing up. "Here's what we'll do. I'll take you to school. I'll stay until you feel safe, all right? No one's gonna hurt you." They nodded slowly. In the car, the girls Ava and Isla sat quietly, clinging to each other. Caleb gently asked questions without pressing too hard. Over time, pieces fell into place. Their mother worked late nights, likely struggling with addiction or severe depression. The girls were often left alone, and there was something about a boy on the bus who wasn't just teasing them. He was hurting them. Caleb dropped them off and asked the school counselor to meet with him privately. Without giving names, he shared what he'd seen. The counselor immediately recognized the twins and confirmed concerns had been raised before. That night, Caleb couldn't sleep. He remembered how helpless his own son had been after his mother's passing, how lost he had been. And he thought if those girls were his, would someone step in? The next morning, he showed up again, same time, same bus stop, and the next, and the next. Each day, he made sure Ava and Isla felt safe. He drove them to school, brought extra snacks, and talked to the school staff about what more could be done. Eventually, child services got involved, but not in the way the girls feared. The school had documented the issues. Caleb's account filled in the missing pieces. And then came the twist no one saw coming. Ava and Isla's mother showed up. Not in anger, but in tears. She'd been watching from across the street, behind drawn curtains. She thought she'd failed her daughters, but seeing a stranger care, seeing him care, gave her a wake-up call. She asked for help. She went into rehab, and she got better. Months passed. That spring, Caleb stood in a sunny schoolyard, watching Mason laugh with Ava and Isla. Their mom stood beside him, healthier, smiling, and holding a tray of cupcakes for the school's spring fair. "Why'd you stop that day?" she asked him. Caleb looked over at the girls. "Because they reminded me what it feels like to be lost, and how much it matters when someone actually sees you." She nodded, tears in her eyes. And in that moment, surrounded by laughter, second chances, and sunshine, it didn't matter who was related to whom. They were all family now. Narrator closing. Sometimes the smallest decision, pulling over, asking a question, showing up, becomes the turning point in someone else's story. Caleb didn't change the world, but he changed theirs. And that made all the difference. The following weekend, Caleb invited Ava and Isla over for a small backyard barbecue. It wasn't much, just a few burgers on the grill, a fold-out table, and Mason running around with a soccer ball. But for the twins, it felt like something they hadn't had in a long time. Normal. safe, fun. They giggled as they helped Mason build a fort with old bedsheets and plastic chairs. Caleb watched from the patio, sipping lemonade, the late afternoon sun casting golden light over the yard. Their laughter filled the air light and free, as if it had been trapped for years and was finally allowed to escape. Their mother, Elena, stood